All right, welcome everyone to the webinar for Understanding DIR Exemptions. Before we get started, can everybody please raise their hand to confirm that they can hear me? Perfect, thank you so much. I would like to remind everyone that you can switch between your computer audio and your phone call. The attendees will be muted today, so if you have any questions, please submit them in the Q&A, and the handout and recording will be available afterwards. All right, I will turn it over to Clarissa for the agenda.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending our exemptions webinar. We are glad to see you online and ready to learn about exemptions. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the DIR background, DIR Cooperative Contracts. We're going to dive into co-op exemptions, talk a little bit about IT purchasing thresholds, then we'll have wrap up and resources and questions and answers. Next slide, please. The Texas Department of Information Resources offers a wide variety of services and commodities for IT procurement. We have a listing here. We offer IT procurement and contracting, shared technology services, data management, texas.gov, technology leadership, communication technology services, and artificial intelligence and innovation. Next slide, please. Our service delivery includes policy and planning, IT strategic planning, provide IT standards, report on state technology. We also offer a do-it-yourself model, which is our cooperative contracts for hardware, software, DBITs, and bulk purchasing. We have shared technology services for outsourced managed IT, which includes the shared technology services, data center services, texas.gov, and security services. We also have our communications, Capitol Complex Telephone, Internet Network, and Network Security Operations. Next slide, please. Let's talk about a little bit cooperative contracts and procurement. Next slide, please. Cooperative contract program includes items such as software, technology training, technology services, IT staffing, DBITs, bulk purchases, SOW exemption review, and hardware. Next slide, please. That also includes computers, software, networking equipment, surveillance cameras, cybersecurity products, drones, disaster recovery products, GIS products, among many others. Next slide, please. Cooperative contract services include IT staffing, technology-based training, end-user IT outsourcing, managed document output, GIS mapping, DBITs, telecommunications products, CompWeb, cloud management, to name a few. Talk a little bit about IT staffing. These are your ITSAC contracts. You can find services such as internships, applications, software development, data and database administration, web development, QA and testing, project management, IT marketing, IT contracting and procurement, among others. We offer a wide variety of services for our ITSAC contracting. Next slide, please. Let's talk a little bit about DBITs. DBITs contracts provide deliverable-based outsourced systems, integration, or application development projects. And they include application development, maintenance, and support, business intelligence, data management, analytics, IT assessments, planning, independent verification, and validation, which is our IVMV, IT procurement assistance, and project and program management. Next slide, please. Let's talk about some common elements of a cooperative contract and the documents it contains. Of course, you're going to have your master contract document. You're going to have an Appendix A that contains standard terms and conditions, your Appendix B, which is your subcontracting plan, Your Appendix C, which is probably one of the most important items on your contract, is the pricing index. It will also include additional items such as possibly an Appendix D, a service agreement, an Appendix E, a master operating lease, or a statement of work. It also will include amendments and requests for offers. You can use the contract page as a resource to download all contract documents, as these documents live on our DIR website and are there for your convenience. Next slide, please. Here's some things to know about contract terms. Let's talk about survival clauses. SOWs and POs survive the expiration or termination of the contract. POs cannot survive more than 3 years. It was previously 5. So to give you an example, if you have a contract that you are about to issue a PO for, but the contract expires 7/1, you can issue that PO up until 7/1, and you can continue with that service up to 3 years past the survival period of that contract. Vendors must give notice to DIR of surviving POs as part of their contract terms. Terms that survive the expiration or termination of the contract include the administrative fee obligations. That's why vendors must provide DIR the surviving POs. Payment obligations survive, confidentiality, and indemnifications also survive the termination of the contract. Next slide, please. Limits of liability. Co-op vendors have unlimited liability by default. Customers and vendors can negotiate a limitation of liability, but it must be included in the PO that's issued to the vendor. Indemnification. Co-op vendors must indemnify for acts or omissions, including by third-party providers, IP infringements, and data breaches. State entities cannot indemnify. Next slide, please. This is probably one of the most important pieces of information to remember is the order of precedence. The order of precedence is very important when it comes to statements of work. The order of precedence in all DIR contract is the DIR master contract controls and the appendices, solicitation to include all addenda, and response to solicitation to include all addenda. Now, some older co-op contracts may have additional agreements included in the order of precedence, and therefore at the DIR contract level. Please review all contract documents to understand what is being agreed to up front through the contract documents and what you may need to further negotiate. Next slide, please. Additional agreements include any terms and conditions governing products or services purchased under the contract that are incorporated into or made applicable to the purchase agreement, but not are included in the list of documents in the order of precedence. And that can include statements of work, fiscal purchase orders, software licensing agreements, lease agreements, or any click-throughs that you may have when you purchase a software. Regardless of when such additional terms and conditions are incorporated into or made applicable to a purchase agreement, this applies. Next slide, please. For the avoidance of doubt, additional agreements include terms and conditions governing products or services purchased under the contract that are incorporated by the publisher or the manufacturer of the product or service. The terms and conditions of such additional agreements will be reviewed, negotiated, and agreed upon between the customer and the vendor. DIR is not involved in this process. Next slide, please. The terms and conditions of the contract shall take precedence over any conflicting terms and conditions of any additional agreement that you may enter into with the vendor. Vendors and customers may not alter this order of precedence. Next slide, please. Now we get to the fun part, co-op exemptions. The Department of Information Resources under Texas Government Code 2157068 requires state agencies to purchase hardware, software, and technology services through DIR contracts. Exemptions, 1 Texas Admin Code Rule 212.20-23 articulates the exemption process, expedited requests, blanket exemptions, and the instructions for the request. Next slide, please. An exemption request is utilized when a state agency wants to procure an item, an IT item, AIS item, through an avenue outside of a DIR contractor service. And those can include cooperative contract blanket exemptions, cooperative contract one-time exemptions, and cooperative contract certification for purchase through local cooperatives. Although an agency may be exempt from using cooperative contracts program, it may need to consider requesting other DIR exemptions, such as data center service exemptions, telecom exemptions, and Texas.gov exemptions. Next slide, please. Minimum thresholds. Minimum threshold for a DIR cooperative exemption or blanket exemption is $10,000. Anything below $10,000, you do not need to reach out to DIR for an exemption. Maximum thresholds are $10 million. Anything over $10 million, you would not be able to use a DIR awarded contract for that purchase. I'll talk about $5 million, that's optional. So at $5 million, it's optional if you want to use a DIR cooperative contract for that purchase. You may also consider bulk purchasing instead. Bulk purchases you can make in excess of $10 million. So an example would be, say you're doing a Dell refresh for all of your laptops within your agency, and that's 6,000 laptops, and it comes out to $22 million. If DIR has a bulk purchase in place for those laptops, you can purchase it directly through DIR off of that bulk purchase agreement. So keep your eye out for bulk purchase agreements, as they will help you streamline your purchasing, especially during the busiest times of the year, which are the end of the year activities. Next slide, please. Let's talk about elements of an exemption request submittal. Cost. Cost is a factor in exemption requests. You must provide the cost information to DIR. So an example would be, if you enter an exemption for $2 million, DIR is going to request information on how you got to that $2 million cost. And that cost can be a quote from a vendor, budgetary info. It can be an email from your finance department stating in your budget you have budgeted this amount of money for that purchase. But the cost information must be included. It has to be verified. Any quotes received from the vendor for the cost of the project or product, budgetary quotes or agency budget approval explanation, upload screen prints or other pricing that shows the difference between the costs. So say, this is an example, say for instance, you put out a solicitation to a DIR vendor, it comes back at $15,000. But then you go do a Google website search for that same product and you found it on open market for $10,000. You can enter an exemption based on the cost, but we would need the documentation for that justification. If you choose compatibility with existing technology infrastructure, we're going to be looking for an internal agency justification or an IT explanation of the requirements that identify why other products won't work. We're going to look for detailed descriptions of compatibility issues, and if it's based on warranty, documents that depict information from the vendor on the warranty. Next slide, please. If you're going to choose funding source restrictions, upload a copy of the funding requirement or the restrictions, upload documentation from agency financial sections. Say you have a grant and your grant has funding restrictions. upload a copy of that documentation that clearly shows your funding restrictions or requirements for that source. If it's not on DIR contract, upload documentation such as a DIR web search result. So say you're needing XYZ software and you're not able to find it on a DIR contract. You search that XYZ software in the DIR search bar and screenshot your findings that it is not found. And we also need the justification as to reasoning of why a similar product on a DIR contract will not meet the requirements. So say you're looking for XYZ, you do not find XYZ, but XYZ's competitor is ABC, and you do find ABC on the DIR contract. If there is a reason why that similar product will not work, provide justification on that reason. If it is proprietary sole source restrictions, we are going to look for an internal agency justification on agency letterhead supporting the proprietary sole source classification that is signed by the agency head or a person with signature authority delegation in the agency plan or his or her designee. It is very important if your sole source proprietary is signed by the person with signature authority, you also include the signature authority for that person in your exemption to show justification that this person is allowed to sign off on the sole source proprietary. We want you to include any correspondence with the vendor or the resellers that supports sole source findings. You won't always have that. Sometimes you will. If you do, upload that information. Upload technical information that supports sole source. Please provide the agency procurement plan or letter of delegated authority with each request. So you say, for instance, you put in an exemption 2 months ago and it was not signed by your agency head. It was signed by a person with signature authority. And today you're putting another one. You need to also include, again, the agency procurement plan or letter of delegated authority with each request. Next slide, please. If you're basing it on terms and conditions, provide screen prints of terms from DIR contracts that do not support your customer requirements or emails from internal source explaining why terms will not meet your requirements. If you check the other box, upload any documentation that supports the other classification. Upload any circumstantial information. Paint the story for us. In your high-level comments, there is a section in there and it gives you a lot of characters to write your description. High-level description of your justification. Consider including a Word document that provides more in-depth comments. The more information you give us, the more you paint your picture, the more you tell your story, the faster and more complete your exemption submittal will, 1, get submitted, and 2, get reviewed and approved. It's hard for DIR to put the pieces together if we don't have all of the information. So the more information you can provide during your submittal process will help us help you to get to an approval. Next slide, please. Let's talk about expedited exemptions. TAC Rule 212.21. In the event of an unforeseeable circumstance that requires immediate attention but is not considered an emergency procurement, the state agency may submit an expedited exemption request. DIR shall issue a written approval or denial of an exemption request within a maximum of 3 business days of receipt of the expedited exemption request. The expedited exemption request must include a statement from the head of the agency, from the head of the requesting agency or their designee describing the circumstances and justification for expedited review by the department. Next slide, please. This is an exemption overview page. We will include this when you receive the slides at the end of the webinar. That's a link there for our exemptions requests for state agencies overview page. Next slide, please. Now we have wrap up and resources. Let's see what kind of resources we have for you. Useful links are the Procurement Professional's Guide to DIR Cooperative Contracts, and exemption requests for state agencies. Next slide, please. We have also our contact information. Lisa Masick is our Chief Procurement Officer. Lynn Hottie Blue is our Deputy Chief Procurement Officer for Management and Administration. Tiffany Jacob, she is our Deputy Chief Procurement Officer for Operations and Governance. We have Lynette Wilkinson, she's our Director of the STS Contract Management. We have Teresa Williamson, she's the Director of the BAC program, and myself, Clarissa Cabrera, I am the Director of the Contracts Management Office. My team oversees all 1,200 cooperative contracts. We also process exemptions and statements of work. Next slide, please. This is our DIR social media. So if you don't know how to find us, we've got linked, we've got X, we've got YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I will say our YouTube channel does have many YouTube videos on it with various different topics concerning DIR and different procurement routes that you can take. And it also has videos that explain our program. So I highly suggest you check out our YouTube channel.